I know, y'all are waiting for Lene to get back, but she's still on vacation and you know she deserves it. Don't worry though, my name is Khalil Green, I go by the Gen Z Historian, and I've got a great topic for y'all this Friday. So I'm gonna keep it black, but I'm gonna keep it brief. The #2 song on the Billboard Hot 100 this week is white country singer Jason Aldean's Try That in a Small Town, and it sparked a war on the internet these past few weeks. Now the song is written as a warning that outlines a series of actions or behaviors that will be met with some sort of violence or retaliation in a small town. On one hand, progressive commentators have called out the song for racist dog whistles and references in both its lyrics and music video. Country music television even pulled the music video off air after a series of complaints. On the other hand, Aldean himself and his more conservative supporters reject that the song has anything to do with race. And to win the culture war, they've rallied behind it to push up the charts and turbocharge its sales. So today, we're gonna talk about it. Now the song starts with calling out crimes like punching random people and carjacking old ladies. You know, things that we can all agree are pretty bad. But as the song progresses, it starts condemning things that are not actually illegal. And this is where people start to really give it the side eye. For example, it talks about cussing out a cop and stumping on an American flag, both of which are things protected by the First Amendment. And when put in context with the music video, these are also actions that evoke imagery of the racial justice protests of 2020. And to these actions, Aldean says, "Try that in a small town, see how far you make it down the road." And later on, the lyrics hype up small towns as places full of good old boys raised up right. And according to Merriam-Webster, good old boys can be defined as a usually white Southerner who conforms to the values, culture, or behavior of his peers. And of course, we have the location of the music video, which for many is the smoking gun in all of this. So it was filmed in front of the Maury County Courthouse in Columbia, Tennessee. And in that same courthouse in 1927, an 18-year-old black boy named Henry Choate was lynched after being accused of assaulting a white girl. But that's not all, because in 1946, a white mob congregated there before carrying out a race riot that almost resulted in the lynching of future Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall. Now, before digging deeper into the story, I just want to say this whole situation gave me extreme deja vu. In 2020, Key and Peele released a sketch called "Is That Country Song Racist?" And it's almost creepy how well it predicts exactly what's going on right now. And to describe what happens in the sketch, the YouTube description says, "A man plays some country tunes for his new neighbor, but they disagree about the music's subtext." For example, in one part of the video, Key sings about keeping a redhead safe from the homies on the wrong side of town. And when Peele correctly says that that line is racist towards black people, Key says that there are white homies and Asian homies, and that Peele was assuming racism where there was none. And the comedic gag is that as the song gets progressively more obvious with its racist dog whistles, Key continues to gaslight Peele and pretend that there's nothing wrong with it. So I brought up this example to highlight an important insight for these types of conversations. Just because someone says something they did is not racist does not mean it's true. And just because someone doesn't say the N-word or explicitly use the word black doesn't mean what they're doing isn't racist. People like Jason Aldean, Ron DeSantis, and the rest of them have made it a key political tactic to erase racial context from society. They live and thrive in a world full of ignorant bliss and historical revisionism. Like just a couple of weeks ago, we had a Republican superintendent say that the Tulsa race massacre was not motivated by race. And as recently as 2015, we had the singer of Try That in a Small Town, Jason Aldean himself, wear blackface as a part of a Halloween costume, but say that he had zero malicious intent and that it never crossed his mind that the action could be racist. But even though contextual awareness and critical thinking are some of the key skills of being an adult in a functioning society, these notable conservatives are banking the idea that we turn our brains off and only take the most surface level understanding of their messages. And it's in their benefit and their benefit alone to normalize not thinking too hard about any of this stuff. And make no mistake, because these games that they play have very real consequences. If we rewind back time to the presidential debates of 2020, we probably all remember Donald Trump telling the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by. And at that time, VP Harris called this out as a racist dog whistle, much the same way in what we're doing right now with Jason Aldean's song. But Trump's Republican allies came to the same defenses they always use. They denied it was racist, they played up their ignorance, and they said people were overreacting. But what happened just a few months later? Oh, that's right, literal Klan members and neo-Nazis tried to overthrow our government. So no, those who have a problem with Jason Aldean's new song and foresee it stoking violent vigilantism are not the ones in the wrong. And just like Key's character in the skit, these conservatives will try to tire you out with willful ignorance or disingenuousness to ignore or defend the racist dog whistles. But history proves that calling stuff like this out can literally save lives and protect our democracy. And because of that, we're gonna keep on calling it out. Class dismissed.